Mom left a 6-year-old alone with a dog for seconds. When she returned, she witnessed a horrific scene. A dog's natural instinct is to protect its owner and family, but not every dog is the same. Breeds are known to be more protective than others, but I think we can all agree that out of every pet you could own, dogs are one of the most protective ons on earth. Certain dog breeds are considered a breed. That includes the Chow Pit Bull and Doberman Pinscher, but when raised by responsible owners, they actually make great pets. In fact, these very dogs often form special bonds with children. One mom proved that point when she took a video of the family dog responding to her little girl who wanted to play. The video went viral. Most people love to watch videos of animals add in a baby, and it's even better after this mom uploaded the video of the family's Doberman and her infant daughter. Viewers went crazy to date. It's been seen more than 8 million times. A baby and a dog at first. Nothing too exciting happens. You see an adorable baby dressed in the yellow romper. She's sitting on the floor. In the living room, surrounded by toys off to the side, is the dog. Hey doggy. After letting out a squeal, the baby begins to crawl towards the dog. That's when it notices her. For a few seconds, the two of them just stare. This little girl is adorable as she smiles from ear to ear as she crawls closer and lets out a series of giggles. This massive Doberman rushes toward her. The next thing you know, the dog standing over the baby. If you didn't know better, you might hold your breath thinking something bad is about to happen. Just checking her out. After a quick sniff, the dog runs off camera. In the meantime, the baby sits there and continues to laugh. She didn't want her furry friend to leave the dog's back as the pup approaches the girl. Again, you hear it make a playful noise. This baby can't stop laughing. She gets so tickled at the situation that she loses her balance and topples over. In the background, you can hear the mom laugh too. Quite the conversation once the baby rights herself. She and the dog seem to have some kind of conversation. The pup makes a few more odd noises, while the girl talks and talks. Of course, no one has any idea what they're saying, but it doesn't matter, they're communicating. Let us play. It's obvious. This baby wants the dog to play with her. The pup goes back over to her, hunches down in a submissive stance, and then again makes the cutest sounds. Finally, this Doberman figured out what the baby wanted, a sweet moment. This back and forth play goes on for a little bit. But then the dog comes right up to the baby's face. Even though it's big, the pup gives the little girl a soft, gentle kiss. What a precious moment. Time to get back to business. With the sentiments out of the way, the two go right back to playing as the baby crawls forward. The dog moves backward. This cat and mouse game shows that already they've created a special friendship, the coolest part. Not only will this baby have a great friend growing up, but also an amazing protector. If you want to watch the interaction between the two, they always almost seem as if they can't associate the smell of a human to be linked with such a small puppy-sized giggling object. Eventually, the dog realizes that this little babies are humans, and within the minutes they end up being the best of friends forever, with a fantastic bond like the video below. It's no wonder why dogs are considered man's best friend. This video is just too cute. We especially love this video because while we do trust this beautiful dog, we're happy to see that the father is keeping a watchful eye on everything, just to make sure nothing bad happens. Accidentally, dogs are incredible. A mother has revealed how her hero dog saved her baby's life by breaking into her nursery when the pet realized that she had stopped breathing. Kelly Andrew, an author from Boston, explained that her young daughter wasn't feeling well and their Boston Terrier Henry was very concerned. He kept pushing the nursery door open with his head so that he could go in and check on the little girl, and his ultimate move saved her life. The writer said she began to get fed up with Henry's antics, since the baby was trying to get some sleep and he kept waking her up. But Henry could tell something was wrong and kept persisting. At one point, when she went to get Henry out of the room, she noticed that the baby had stopped breathing and was turning blue. She and her husband Jeff rushed her to the hospital, where doctors were thankfully able to clear out the baby's airways last night. The dog kept breaking into the nursery and waking the baby. She's been sick, and I was getting so fed up with him. The mom of two explained on Twitter, until she stopped breathing. We spent the night in the hospital. I don't know what would have happened if he hadn't woken her. We don't deserve dogs. Kelly's moving story quickly went viral, gaining more than 270,000 retweets and 230,000 likes since it was posted earlier this week. She also opened up about it during an interview with Good Morning America, explaining he was head-butting the door open and going into her room and standing there. Every time I shooed him away, he would go back. And Kelly explained that she thought her baby had a head cold, but suddenly it got much worse. She wasn't clearing her airway. She turned blue and had gone rigid. She couldn't get air, she couldn't get any oxygen. She continued in an update hours later. Kelly revealed that they were home from the hospital and that the baby was doing much better. She wrote, "Thanks for all the well wishes, everyone. The baby is doing much better today, and we are home with Henry, who bravely held the fort all night, even though he is scared of the dark." She also said that, since the terrifying incident, she has treated Henry like the king of the castle, which is no different than any other day. Her husband also told Jima that the pup definitely had a stake coming in his near future. People quickly started to reply to her post and share stories of their own dogs being heroes. One person wrote, "That's so scary. I'm glad your baby is on the mend. One time Hubs was out of town and our dog jumped on my chest and barked in my face until I woke up. The house was full of smoke. I left the fireplace on and the stockings were smoldering. Our dog saved our daughter and me. Dogs are incredibly protective." Cambodia's story is legendary in Kenya and worldwide. The African dog lived happily at the Kenya Ska, where she spent her time sleeping in a soft bed and teaching school children about animal welfare until she passed away in 2014. But back in 2005, Kambosi became famous for saving an abandoned newborn baby. The heroic dog found the 2-day-old baby wrapped in rags in Nairobi's Gong Forest near a racetrack in a poverty-stricken area where she was scavenging for food. Kambosi lived at a compound with a family who looked after her. They fed her what they could, but she would often go out looking for more food for herself. The family had children, and she was always curious when the babies were born. So she was familiar with babies. Crying, Kambosi picked up the abandoned baby and was seen crossing a busy road and weaving through traffic with a bundle before disappearing and making her way back to her shack, where she was nursing. Her puppies, the infant and dog, were soon discovered by the family's 2 children, who heard the sound of a baby crying near their wooden shack and alerted their parents. Agri Walimu, mother of the boys, found the baby lying next to the dog and a puppy. The girl was taken to the hospital where she spent several weeks recovering in intensive care. Sadly, newborns are abandoned by mothers because of extreme poverty and their inability to care for the children. Most people who abandon babies are never located after her last surviving puppy died. Kambosi was taken in by the Kenya Spa. The staff named her Kambosi, which is Swahili for savior. At first, Kambosi wasn't overly happy to see her rescuers. Jean Gilchrist, executive director of the Speaker, recounted, "She wasn't happy when we all poured into the compound. She decided to leave, but kids in the compound brought her back for the bath because she was full of ticks. The tan, short-haired mixed breed was heavy with milk from nursing. She was bathed and dewormed and taken to the shelter after the story got out about Kambosi's heroic actions." Cambodia's family was given some money for school fees and food by Good Samaritans after arriving at the SPI. Kambosi simply loved to hang out and relax. She loved being with children and liked being at the shelter where she could just relax and hang out with her friends. As for why Kambosis saved the baby, Gilchrist speculated that the dog was possibly trying to care for the baby because most of her puppies had died. She reckoned it was a young animal and possibly wanted to bring it up. Gilchrist guessed it's something to do with the canine-human bond. Other dogs might have just left her there to die. She obviously is a very special dog, Gilchrist added. She's a very streetwise dog. That's for sure. The other dogs in the compound did not look very well, but she is the fattest of them all. She obviously knows how to look after herself. The Xpeka decided to adopt Kambosis soon after putting Kambosis' days of scavenging for food to an end. As for the baby girl, she was named Angel and later Angela and was adopted by a loving family. Were it not for Kambosis' kindness and Herodect, Angel would not be alive today. This wasn't the first time we've heard a lot of fascinating stories about dogs and their unique capacity to assist people in need. There have been a lot of brave dogs out there who deserve our attention and admiration. By walking with her owner in the park, the brave and cunning dog saved the life of a newborn baby. The infant was completely alone. Terry Walsh was out for a walk with his dog in one of their favorite spots. Suddenly, the dog began to behave strangely under the bushes. She noticed something. He dashed that way, claiming to have discovered something. His owner raced to investigate. After hearing what sounded like a baby's cry, the baby was apparently sleeping until his dog woke him up, and he began to cry. Terry was taken aback when he spotted a baby wrapped in a blanket. The dog takes a position near the baby. The retired man quickly dialed 911 and officers arrived to transport the little soul to the hospital. The baby appeared to be in good health. Police later stated that they were unable to locate the baby's mother, but that they would continue their search in the hopes of finding her and seeing the wonderful reunion of the little girl and her mother. The majority of aggressive behavior by dogs is motivated by fear of dogs, fear of thunderstorms, fear of vacuum cleaners, fear of humans, eck. Many dogs learn that a strong offense is the best defense. These dogs know that an aggressive display will get the scary thing to go away, and every time the scary thing goes away, the dog is reinforced. How do these fears develop? Genetics, poor puppy, socialization, bad experiences. Owners oftentimes unintentionally reinforce these fears with their own anxieties about how their dog might react to these triggers. A vicious cycle is created. Dogs sometimes guard people in the same way that they guard their food, toys, bones, eck. Guarding things is called resource guarding or repossessions aggression, and in reference to food is frequently called food aggression. Dogs are pack animals, their pack is their family, and they are extremely loyal and protective of their pack and territory. It's natural instinct, like when a dog pees on top of another dog's pee, it's to cover the dog's scent to mark their territory. When a dog pees on every tree, he's saying this is mine, and this is mine, and this is mine. So you better stay away. Dogs in a pack usually have one leader of the pack and they follow and protect their leader. It's natural instinct. If you train a dog right, they will see you as their leader and they will protect you in anything that belongs to you. We've all seen the news on TV that talks about the heroics of a family dog who saves the family from a home fire that occurs in the middle of the night. It generally goes something like this. The house was burning down in the middle of the night and the whole family was asleep, and completely unaware, Max jumped on everyone's bed. Until someone finally got up, he saved 4 lives at night. We love our dogs more than anything, but we should keep in mind that their motivations are more primitive than the motivations of humans. This awareness can actually make us better dog owners and trainers. Those who many think are protecting their owners, because they're barking or lunging on the leash, are actually anxious and just want the big scary human to go away, not from their own human but from themselves. If they're off leash and a threat approach their owners, most dogs will act in self-preservation and keep their distance, but that's fine. It shouldn't be a dog's job to protect their owner. It should be the owner's job to protect their dogs. I don't have a pair of dogs to protect me. I have them for company and carry a personal alarm and a spy camera for protection. All dogs do not protect all babies. No, generally speaking, a dog whose family has a baby might be extra protective of that baby as part of its pack. However, it's not entirely unheard of for some dog breeds to be defensive or vicious toward a newborn intruder until it gets used to the child. It definitely depends on the breed. Some may be protective, others may not. Female dogs are going to be naturally more protective than males. Also, in the wild, male animals are sometimes known to be a danger even to their own cubs. ID research: your dog breed carefully and take precautions. Babies from all species give off a scent when they're young, which differs from adults. Animals can tell this from the smell that the child is not a threat and is a vulnerable child. This leads to a protective instinct by animals with dogs. It goes deeper because they can tell that the child is the child of their master. Therefore, protection of the child keeps their master happy, and dogs are all about keeping their owner happy, and that, of course, leads to keeping the new mini-owner happy too. Both dogs and cats closely bond with children and the elderly. Both first start being curious, then affectionate and protective to them. It makes no difference that a baby has no fur or tail. It's a sibling who mostly rolls on its back and doesn't run around, at least not yet. A baby's cry distresses the pets as much, if not more, than it does its parents. Kids who grow up with pets become more caring and responsible, as long as parents early on teach them boundaries to respect pets, not to hurt them by poking, punching, or pulling their ears or tail. Think about it. Like this, dogs and babies are considered to be among the truly innocent and are still close to God, so a dog will fiercely defend a baby or child. Also, babies and kids and dogs have the ability to see spirits. Have you ever wondered why? Because of their innocence, more likely than not, when you see a baby talking to something you can't see or reaching for something, that's not. There is someone you can't see there. The same with children. Those are not imaginary friends, they're spirits, so listen to your kids when they talk about their imaginary friends and do not discourage the relationship. I know I went left, but you get it. Babies of every species have physical characteristics specific to babies. The proportion and shape of their facial features, for one, in mammals are hardwired to recognize them. We also hardwired, mostly to respond to them. Protectively, dogs love their family and usually love kids. A family dog would be especially protective of a child in its own pack. Mammals, including human mammals, seem to be hardwired to protect young of any species. That's why humans owe and awe over strangers. Babies and female dogs are known to raise baby pigs and tigers. There are exceptions. Dogs are also pack animals and protect pack members. A baby who is a member of a dog's pack, which includes canine and non-canine family members, will be protected by the dog. We praise these dogs' heroism around the world. Thanks for reading.